ask for and have woken up earlier or waking up earlier is, as much as we might be angry or feel injustice and feel all of those other things, for this to be truly over and to move forward, we have to find a place in our heart for the people who did it to us. Maybe not the ones at the very top who knew exactly what they were doing, and I'm sure there's going to be some international justice or something to take care of that. But for the average people, our friends who are doctors and nurses, our friends who are civil servants, our friends who are in the media, because we know them as people. We know they're not bad people. What they are is people who are misguided. People, and of course in our context, in the Singapore context, from this age have been trained, right? It's like Pavlov's dog. The government rings the bell and you do what the government says because they've trained you to do it, right? Critical thinking, we don't want that. You know, your own original thinking, we don't want that. Yes, men, well, very good, you're going to get promoted, right? And of course, as organizations go wrong over time, you start to see diversity disappears. In those organizations, you often see the relatives of the previous generation, the close friends of the previous generation, the cronies. There's a reason Singapore's #3 in the world for crony capitalism now, because our entire system is infected right at the very top. They're all interlinked now, because they're not brought in because they're the best and the brightest who are working for the greater good of Singaporeans. They're now brought in because who are they loyal to? Are they going to work for the greater good of the organization and put that ahead of everyone else? So part of what we have to do is we need to help those people who are not the most culpable but have been part of it to get through that process. If you think, I don't know if any of you have done psychology or had to deal with people who've come out of abusive relationships, or you've known someone who's come out of a cult, right? Often to get them out is a trigger, and that we can't really provide. We can put all the information in the world in front of them. We can give them all the facts and figures. That's not really going to do anything for the majority of them. They have to have their own trigger. That could be their mother takes a booster and suddenly dies, and that's their wake up. Terrible way to happen, but it might happen. Or their child or something like that. Or the weight of the information coming comes to the point where they can no longer logically ignore it or put it out of the way. Whatever it is, they will hit a trigger point. That's what happens in the abusive relationship, in the person who comes out of the cult. But to get them out, they need a support network. Now, if we're all on the outside calling them murderers and terrible people and all this stuff, their own defense mechanism, they'll stay in. They will not come out, right? So we have to make sure that we don't hold personal animosity and blame to the majority of people who've been involved in what happened to us. This is where I'm very happy to see so many people here, because we're on the front edge. Those early ones that wake up, it's going to be our responsibility to help the others to wake up and to start the healing process for our country after this. The top level, let's not worry about that. International justice is probably going to take care of that in most countries. Some countries, their own system will do it. 50-50 here. Some of us have made police reports. Investigations are being done. They are, I mean, as far as I know from the ones I'm involved in, they're doing their job, right? Because most people do. They're good, honest people. They're doing their job. Whether it can go anywhere because of the nature of the very top is a different story. But country by country, some their countries will do it, some, because it's a global crime, not just a local crime. On one side it was good because it was a global crime and we saw it everywhere. We got the information here from the outside. We were able to wake up. That's what triggered us. If we'd have had to rely totally on what happened in an enclosed bubble, we'd have been gone. We'd have had no chance. It's why WHO wants to do what they want to do, because they want a giant enclosed bubble, everyone to do the same thing. So you don't have the differences, you can't see the differences, all of this kind of stuff. So it's going to end. At an international level, probably the worst people involved in it are going to be removed one way or another. And then we need to think about what comes next. Right? So waking up is one of the steps. We also then need to deprogram. I mean, we've started to deprogram ourselves, but we need to help the others deprogram as well, because they've grown up from this age. You know, what do? They walk around with a certain badge on their chest in primary school. They read books like The Great Gardener, etc. I mean, it is almost like cult induction, the way the education system works. It's training, not education. So we have to deprogram ourselves, help people to deprogram. We also have to educate ourselves. And there I want to say there's a difference between training and education. Very different, very, very different. The other thing we can do on our healing process is we can look at what do we have in us that we can draw on to speed all of that. And if we go back, like when I first came back in Singapore in the 80s, the sort of kampong type culture still existed. It hadn't been fully killed off. Neighbours still looked after neighbours. There was a camaraderie that was around. That still exists here to some level, that kampong spirit. We need to bring that back, and there may be other cultural things that we can draw on for us that we can work with. And then, of course, we have to totally reform the system at the top, because we know it's followed the path of every other system in history that has become enclosed, it's looking after itself. All it's doing now is its greater good and not everyone's greater good. So a couple of things to leave you with. Open heart. Don't get angry at those who've done it to us, most of them. Give them the chance to come over, express themselves, commiserate with them, because they're going to be going through all sorts of psychological turmoil, especially if they're involved in doing something that caused hurt to someone they love. There's a lot of people that won't come through this. They say you can fool all of the people all of the time. All of the people some of the time, and some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. Well, there is that some of the people, and some of the people are going to be some of the people that have done some of the worst things, and they just cannot emotionally deal with it. So they will either stay in there and push hard to hold on, or they themselves in some way will implode. And they're the people that we'll do what we can for them, but I mean, it's just the way it's turned out. So hold a place in your heart. Think about what's the next step, right? Wake up, reprogram or deprogram, educate, draw on what we can of our history for what's the next step, and we reform what's going up on the top. Not just because we need to reform it now, but we can never, ever let this happen again. We can never be asleep at the wheel, and to some extent, we all have to bear some responsibility for that, because we all watched it, and we made the jokes, and we fell for all of it. And of course, I've been on both sides. I've been in one side, I've been on the other side. I've seen how it's gone. I've seen how the people think. So anyway, love. Have love inside your heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Give him a round of applause for Brett. Woo! You see, the sky is clapping with us. Okay, and one of my guest speaker has arrived. Mr. Lim, are you here, Mr. Lim? Mr. Lim? Do we have umbrella? Can Okay. Can somebody pass the umbrella to him? Okay. Yeah, play some music. Okay, we have Mr. Lim Tian here. He's going to be our next speaker. Just arrived to the rain. Thank God we got the tent. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Lim Tian here. So, as mentioned, this is not a political seminar or anything, even though he's a politician. But because we know that his political party, as well as they have been, he's the lawyer involved in one of the judicial review, okay, with the Han Hui Hui group. Okay, so that's why I've invited them to come and share what their judicial review is about. Okay, so would you like to hear from him? Give him a round of applause, please, Mr. Lim Tian.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure and a great privilege for me to be addressing you this afternoon. You know, I admire what Iris Coe and Raymond have done, and you know, the whole group Healing the Divide. And I like the group because all of you are intelligent vaxxers, all right? And we must destroy this notion, this narrative that is being painted of Healing the Divide as anti-vaxxers, okay? Now, I myself, I'm vaxxed. I had 3 Sinovac jabs, all right? And it's a choice, isn't it? I mean, last year when the vaccination program was rolled out, initially only Pfizer and I think Moderna were offered. But I waited because I wanted the traditional vaccine. But whether you go for mRNA or Sinovac or something else, it's absolutely your choice. But what I dislike about the government's approach was it was always trying to push its agenda. And you will recall that initially it was saying that it didn't recognize Sinovac, yeah? It didn't recognize Sinovac. It gave all sorts of fictitious reasons like, you know, efficacy and all that. But I was reading totally different reports. Like in Turkey, they were saying that Sinovac had an amazing efficacy rate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what prior speakers before me have said, but the one thing I want to emphasize to all of you this afternoon, and I think it is going to be increasingly important as we go ahead, is we must not have this sovereignty taken away. Iris informed me yesterday, and I'm very concerned about one thing, which is this WHO treaty, which is coming up. And you know, there's going to be a big congregation, I think in Washington, D.C., no, in Geneva, on the 22nd of May. And over 130 countries have signed up to it. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that effectively WHO is going to dictate what is going to happen in each country? Yeah. And that is not right. That is not right, because everyone must have a choice as to whether this vaccine goes into your body. And that was the reason why on the 27th of December 2021, 6 very courageous individuals, headed by none other than Han Hui, took out a judicial review application in the Singapore High Court. And I was their lawyer. And the judicial review application sought, amongst other things, to declare, so for an order, for several orders in fact, that 2 directives issued by the MTF, the Multi-Ministry Task Force, namely the directive of the 23rd of October, saying that from the 15th of January, non-vaccinated workers would not be allowed to go back to their workplace. Now, in our application, we asked the High Court for an order quashing this directive, all right? On the grounds that it was irrational, it was unreasonable. And the other order we asked for was that the directive issued by the MTF and the Ministry of Health, that as of the 8th of December, those non-vaccinated would have to pay out of their own pocket for all the medical bills. And why was this challenge mounted? This challenge was mounted because we thought that it was absurd. I mean, in a pandemic situation, isn't the role of the government to encourage everyone to seek medical treatment if you are ill? Can you imagine those who are ill and who are unvaccinated and who realize, oh my God, I may have to cough up many thousands of dollars and even more thousands if I go into ICU, yeah? And they'll be shying away from it. They'll be shying away from treatment. Now, surely that cannot be the objective of a reasonable and caring government. But what I was very disturbed when we did this application was this. You know, the narrative of the government throughout. No, well, let me backtrack some more. Initially, it said, what did it say? Do you remember? Vaccination is a choice. Okay? Vaccination is a choice. It is not going to be compulsory. But what happened later as the year progressed? Basically, we had a vaccine mandate, didn't we? Unless you were vaccinated, you couldn't go back to work. And unless you were vaccinated, you had to pay your own medical bills. And you know, when we challenged those directives, you know what was the government's response? And of course, the MTF. We challenged the MTF, we challenged the Ministry of Health, and we challenged the MOM. Because those were the three bodies that put out the directive. You know what was the government's response? It was so ridiculous, it was laughable. It said, oh, it was not a directive. It was only an advisory. And if you look at the advisory, it doesn't compel the employer to terminate the employee. All right? But you are telling Singaporean employers, who are probably one of the most obedient in the world, that the MTS directive actually has no effect. And of course, that was not the case, because very soon we had newspaper reports, and these are not by the alternative media. These were not run by TOC or the Independent. These were newspaper reports coming out in Today saying that employers were terminating employees. And the applicants, Han Hui Hui swore an affidavit for them on their behalf and said, well, of course we are disadvantaged, because from now on, no employer will want to employ us. All right? So I think the answer given by the government is disingenuous. Let me just take the work directive first. Let me deal with that first. And so from the 15th of January, the non-vaccinated couldn't go to work unless they had very sympathetic employers who said you can work from home. But how many people actually can work from home? There are some jobs where you physically have to be at the workplace. All right? But ladies and gentlemen, 3 months down the road now, all of a sudden, the government has just thrown everything out of the window, and the non-vaccinated can now go back to work, right? So what was the whole purpose of that? What was the whole purpose of that? And you know what was even more disingenuous? The government's narrative throughout was that, oh, the non-vaccinated and are putting an incredible strain on our healthcare system. They have 38% more chances of dying, 38 times more chances of dying. This was what was said in Parliament as recently as the 11th of March this year. All right? But you know, when we actually did our math, and of course here, there is going to be a contest. According to our version, and we were using MOH data, all right? Last year's data, you know, when it came to the judicial review application, the court did not allow us to adduce more recent data. We were confined to data ending the 31st of December, 2021. And at that time, the government had not revealed a lot of statistics. All right? So we were handicapped. But even using 2021 statistics and MOH own statistics, although they dispute that, we found out the number of people dying of the vax compared to the unvax was 4.7 to 1. How do you justify that? It means that a lot more people who were vaccinated, according to our calculations, were actually dying. And when you come to the people in ICU, the ratio was 22 to 8. So it's not true, according to us, that the unvaccinated were more likely to end up in ICU. And of course, if you go along with their narrative, you would think that by now the unvaccinated would really be thronging, be occupying all the ICU beds. But do you know that recently, hardly any unvaccinated people are in ICU, all right, or have died, okay? None. So how could, and we are not going on some argument about, you know, this expert says that mRNA is bad for you because blood clots will form, you know, you will suffer from heart problems, myocarditis or whatever. I'm not a doctor. Yeah, we were just using statistics, their own statistics, to show that that policy was very flawed. We didn't go into this application quoting science or what. We just used statistics. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have argued the case. We argued it before Justice Dita Singh Gill, who reserved judgment. And we are awaiting their judgment. But, hey, whatever the outcome, don't you think that is a great victory that now they have removed all restrictions for the unvaccinated to go back to work? Yeah? So I think that application has been helpful to Singaporeans. And that application has opened the eyes of Singaporeans to realize you cannot believe the narrative of the government, all right? And you know what is even more striking? Singapore was the only country in the world, which had such a draconian vaccine mandate. No other country in the world said that if you are unvaccinated, you cannot go back to work. Yeah. Austria, I think, threatened it, but at the end of the day, Austria didn't go ahead with it. And, you know, right now we look, there are so many countries that have opened up. I mean, for England, for example, you don't even need to be vaccinated now in order to enter England. Yeah. And that is going to be the trend. So I think at the end of the day, with a vaccine that is as experimental as what they have foisted on us, you cannot force people to take the vaccine. And I told the High Court judge, I told Justice Dita Singh Gill, I said, it is not because people are trying to be stubborn, but there are worries, right? There are real worries about this vaccine. Do you know that as of the 28th of March this year, 28th of February this year, there were almost 16,400 adverse number of cases. And this was reported by none other than HSA, the Health Science Authority of Singapore. So people are not making stories up. There are drastic side effects. And of these 16,400 cases, almost 850 cases were serious cases. Yeah. So, and I heard recently, I heard from a good friend of mine that when the Pfizer studies were eventually revealed, and they were forced out of Pfizer, weren't they? And I think the results came out a few days ago, maybe very recently. Do you know that in a 3-month period, 1,200 people died? I am told. And do you know that under normal FDA standards, when you go for a trial of vaccines, if you have 50 deaths, all right, the whole thing is pulled, all right? You can't even go on. So why are we fixated on this idea that the vaccine is the cure for the thing? Now, you know, Singaporeans by and large are an obedient crowd, right? I mean, today, 96% of the total population, or 92%, one of those percentages, are fully vaccinated, you know. And if people do not vaccinate, you must realize that they have genuine fears and they are not trying to play punk. Already we have a far higher percentage than in Hong Kong, where, you know, I think amongst the elderly, the vaccination rate is not even 40%. Yeah, I think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, Iris asked me to speak to you this afternoon a bit about this challenge we mounted. I am glad we did it. I think there is one other application before the High Court at the moment, launched by another group. That is a far wide-ranging challenge because it goes into constitutional challenges on the grounds of Article 12 and all that, you know, and Article 13. But we decided for our own judicial challenge, we were not going to talk about the science. We were just going to use MOH own statistics against them to show how ridiculous the vaccine mandates were. Yeah? And all over the world, all over the world, all over the world, governments now are losing in cases brought by concerned citizens. You know, recently in New Zealand, a judge by the name of Francis Cook reversed the Ardern mandate, all right? Francis Cook was actually my classmate at Cambridge. I'm very proud to learn that, you know, he was the judge that struck down the mandate there. His father, Robin Cook, was formerly the Chief Justice of New Zealand. And so, you know, the son has followed the right path. But, and in America, all right, the Biden administration has suffered a lot of setbacks. And now even on the masking mandate, they have lost in the courts, all right? And all over the world, it's not just these two countries, all over the world, even in India, the government has lost, all right? So I leave you with this. We are on the right path when we say that a lot more circumspection, a lot more care has to be taken, instead of just pushing a narrative down the throat of people when there is no concrete evidence to suggest that this vaccine is the solution to the problem. All right? So thank you very much for your invitation this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lim Tian. Okay, give him a round of applause again. Thank you. Now, I'm going to make a short announcement about dinner. Wan Fen, you want to? I think some of you have ordered dinner. Okay, you can. You see the booth over there. Wan Fen, you want to make any request? We may have some extra for sale, but we didn't order too much. So if you ordered your dinner, you can.
So all who made orders for dinner, please queue up here orderly. But those who did not make order, maybe you just hang around and wait for a bit, okay? So please be patient with us. Thank you so much.
Okay, while we do that, I'm going to call on the next one. Okay, just I think that should be enough. Okay, next is Prabhu. Prabhu is on the team with Lim Tian, and he's going to present the maths that the statistics. Okay, that they have put up for this judicial review.
Hi, hello, everyone. I'm Prabhu. So some of you guys would know me. I time to time write online, and my Facebook page is Real Issues, and I wrote a book in a similar title as well. Okay, basically, I will go through, right, and I'll tell you all where to find this information. On the Ministry of Health's website, there's something called COVID SITREP, or COVID situation report lah, but for short they call it COVID SITREP. This data and all is not plucked out of the sky or does not originate from me. But however, we usually go through it to analyze lah. So the government's mandates or the government's response to how they are treating the unvaccinated, or in fact I would also take issue with how they deemed who is unvaccinated. There is no proper breakdown of vaccinated or unvaccinated. The terms that they use is non-fully vaccinated, fully vaccinated without booster, fully vaccinated with booster. Okay. We all know fully vaccinated is 2 shots of mRNA vaccines, or let's say Sinovac or Sinopharm, they say you need 3 shots to be deemed as fully vaccinated. This is also partly due to the flip-flop. Originally, they told us 2 shots, 2 jabs of Pfizer, Moderna, or Sinovac or Sinopharm, you are deemed as fully vaccinated. Then out of a sudden, you see there is a sudden flip-flop, sudden U-turn that they are telling. I think even Mr. Lim Tian, who took Sinovac vaccine, said that that his vaccination status would expire, and to maintain that you needed to take 3 shots. Okay, personally I myself took Moderna. I took 2 shots, and I haven't taken my booster yet. Well, but what I'm trying to get at is, if you randomly go to the MOH website and you pull, not just there is data available for the last 30 days, okay? So I'm not cherry picking or nitpicking 1 dates or 2 dates. If you see the number of hospitalized, the number of those who are in ICU, those who require oxygen supplementation, the let's say I pull out the when it was at the peak on 1st March, 2nd March, that time period, those that were hospitalized, right, there were those who are fully vaccinated with booster, 718. Those who are fully vaccinated without booster, only 484. How come there is more people who are fully vaccinated with booster, which is higher than fully vaccinated without booster? Okay, and this comes the interesting part. You would expect the people who are not vaccinated to be the most number of people who took up who are hospitalized, but very, very strangely, only 240 people who are classified as non-fully vaccinated, who are hospitalized. Compare that to, let's say, fully vaccinated with booster was 718 on the same day. Fully vaccinated without booster is 484. Non-fully vaccinated people, only 240 in a single day who are hospitalized. So by punishing people, telling that, hey, you can't, you need to be fully vaccinated, you need to maintain your vaccination status in order to go to a mall, in order to go to work, in order to, is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. The math doesn't add up. Okay, now the government can easily turn around and say, hey, I'm cherry picking one date. Okay, never mind, I go through another date. Let's say we go to, like, let's say the 13th of March, okay? 13th of March, same story, different numbers. There was about like 617 people who were hospitalized, who were fully vaccinated with booster. Fully vaccinated without booster is 274 people. But on the same day, the non-fully vaccinated, the non-fully vaccinated was only 189 people, lesser than 200 people. So this is a different date. And hey, I'm not making up the numbers. So similar to what Iris went through with all the URL links and all, right? Go to MOH website. There is the statistics on COVID. It is called COVID Situation Report, or for short, the URL is called COVID SITREP. SITREP. So this is where you pull out the information, analyze it for yourself, you make your own decisions. Now I'll go to, this was the hospitalization status which I went through. Next, I'll go through a random date, okay? Let's say I pull out 10th of March. 10th of March, I will go for those who require oxygen supplementation in general ward. Okay, on the 10th of March, those who are fully vaccinated with booster, 87 of people requires oxygen with supplementation in general ward. That means haven't go ICU yet lah, but need oxygen. And those who are fully vaccinated without booster, only 69. Okay, that means 2 shots. Fully vaccinated without booster, only 69. Non-fully fully vaccinated with booster, 87. Hey, anybody want to guess what is the number of non-fully vaccinated people who required oxygen supplementation in general ward on the same day? Only 31. So if you look at the numbers, the way how the government have been behaving with the with the unvaccinated by that is another story, is actually irrational and unproportional. And okay, this is where another thing. What is the number of this? We do not have this number. The government did not tell us what is the number of people who are unvaccinated by choice, because they use the term non-fully vaccinated. You know who can non-fully vaccinated cover or not? People who had one shot of the jab and had adverse side effect, severe adverse side effect, or some sort of side effect, even though mild and minor, but did not want to go and get the second shot, is considered as non-fully vaccinated. So there is no further breakdown of unvaccinated by choice and unable to be vaccinated because of side effect or fear or some sort. Imagine people are not anti-vaxxers, you know. They actually go and take the first shot, but after the first shot had rashes or severe side effect or some digestive problems, or you name it, blood allergies or whatsoever. You dare to take or not the second shot, or you dare to take a third shot or not? Of course not, right? So basically, they do not provide further numbers, and of course, I understand there's a court case going on, so can't speak about this. They said can't speak about this in full detail. The judgment will be out soon, and okay. I also want to look at, I also couldn't help but notice earlier before the rain, right, most of the placards and the signages were out, and all were people who had adverse side effect to Pfizer, right, most of the deaths and all caused. So I also feel, hey, I took Moderna, you know, yeah, but don't take my word for it, but personally, I never had any side effect, you know, so thank goodness. But I would also mention that don't take me as an experiment lah, and go and try your second or third shot or whatever lah, because I had 2 shots, and I have not got COVID as well lah, because I've heard of people who got 2 shots of mRNA vaccine got COVID. 2 or 3 shots of non-mRNA vaccine got COVID. Hey, I also have a friend who is a doctor, because he's a medical, he was one of those in the first of the queue to get the virus lah, because of his medical profession. This guy took 2 shots of Pfizer vaccine, followed by 2 shots of Sinopharm. That means 4 shots in total. And even he got COVID. He came down with COVID, but I basically have not got COVID lah. I also have another friend who got 3 shots of Moderna vaccine, or those people who got Pfizer, Moderna, or sort. They still got COVID at the end of the day. But personally, I have not got COVID lah, despite me only having 2 shots. So I'm very skeptical on getting the 3rd shot. And from the data which is presented on MOH website, those that require hospitalization, those who are in ICU, and those who are in general ward without needing a general ward with oxygen supplementation but without ICU, the trend seems to be the same. The number of people who are vaccinated with booster seems to be higher, then followed by the people who are vaccinated but without booster, but the non-fully vaccinated seems to be the least. So as one of my best mentors who is seated here, Uncle Leong Ji Hian, will always say, let the numbers do the talking. And that's what I would end with. Anyone who is interested to find out, because in my book I wrote the government's handling of COVID. I dedicated about a chapter or so in my book with regards to how they handled the COVID situation, or how badly or poorly. Feel free to approach me. I've got some copies of my book lah. Yeah. All right. I leave you all to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, we're going to bring up the next one. And guys, rain or shine, we're here, aren't we? Despite the heavy rain, we are here because this issue is important to us. Please take some photo, you see? We are all here. Okay, so. All right, it's here. Alvin? Okay, next speaker, we have Alvin Koh. He's got same surname as me, we're not related. Okay, he used to run business. He was known as the Porridge King. Okay, I think he was in the media a lot. Okay, but he also now will tell you his stories with the media. Okay, when they love you, they will feature you nicely. Okay, when they don't love you, so you know, all kinds of things. All right, so without much further ado, I'll hand over the microphone to him, and he's been a very good supporter. Okay, to me especially in my lawsuits and everything. So thank you.
Iris has been great. Great. Well, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to this event. I want you to know that all of you here are very, very special people, are also very lucky people. Very special is because you are much more aware than the majority of the population. Very lucky is because majority of you are unvaccinated. Yes? I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story, a little bit of a background. Now, how many of you old folks over here, I'm age 50 right now, so pretty old folks. How many of you old folks over here have been to my Porridge King restaurant in Katong in the past? Can I see some old customers over here? Yeah, Ivan is one of the regular customers. Now, to date, right, I have, over the last nearly 30 years been in business. I've always been self-employed. I'm an entrepreneur. But academically, I'm philosophically trained, so you can call me a philosopher. During the time when I was managing my restaurant, the Porridge King restaurant, in total, the Porridge King restaurant has got 6 outlets. The first outlet was in Katong. The second outlet was also in Katong. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story, chronologically, what happened to the restaurant. I started the Porridge King restaurant at 2000, the year 2000. And a lot of marketing has been done to it with $0 and 0 cent, because I've marketed myself as the bodybuilder sensual chef. So the media runs to me like bees to honey, because they are looking for a talking point in order to pump out juicy story so they can get advertiser, so they can get audience. The more audience you have, the easier to get advertiser. And I saw the corner that I can enter, which is basically to be the talking point and make myself a juicy story for them. So the marketing campaign works very well. I dress myself in a kimono form shape, exposing my cleavage a little bit, which some say is larger than my mother. And it sells the story. A kimono chef with exposed cleavage frying in front of the wok, okay, and pumping his wok hay. What happened? A lot of customers came to the restaurant. Ivan can be a... Ivan, where's Ivan? Right? Ivan can be a witness over here because he's one of my very first early customers. The queue for the restaurant was approximately about from one bus stop to another bus stop at the peak of it. So what happened? It was a rolling business. Then a couple of years later, 2003, something happened. All restaurants of mine has to close down. It was closed. What was 2003, the biggest event in 2003? Can you all remember? What is it? The SARS crisis, right? The SARS crisis, I'm going to talk about it later and how it relates to basically to COVID today. At the time, I was in my late 20s. I'm still a young bird, a greenhorn. At the time, philosophically and both politically. So what do? I just blame heaven. I blame fate. That after years of hard work and opening several branches of restaurant, I have to close it all down, all because of the situation, because of the pandemic, because of SARS. At the peak of the SARS, within the first 2 weeks, how many people died at the time? About 160 people died within the first 2 weeks. Within the first 3 weeks, about 200 old people died. The disease was much, much more contagious than COVID-19. But do you remember there was lockdown? There was no lockdown, right? Do you remember there was all this draconian law? Why is that so? Do you remember there was a destruction of the middle class, destruction of entrepreneurship, destruction of businesses, small and big? No, right? At that time, I cannot see through the view. I thought it was just all very bad luck. In fact, if you were to use a strategic point of analysis and you look back, the SARS crisis is their starting point to plan for the pandemic, which we call the pandemic 20 years or 17 years later, which is today, starting from 2020. It was their warming up, their test bed to test and see what is the response of the people. Okay, right. Sorry, I have a situation of getting closer and closer to the audience. Can you guys hear me? Sorry. Now that I'm 50 years old, they say 姜是老的辣. I have more experience in life. I've gone through a little bit more. And when I look back, I begin to see the bird eye views of things. In 1967, the CIA has got a meeting. Of course, it's COVID meeting. And their meeting, they are there to plan a cover plan called Project Mockingbird. Have you heard of Project Mockingbird? Who has heard of Project Mockingbird? Please raise your hand. Thank you. We have some very, very highly aware audience today. And what is Project Mockingbird? Why do we call the media today the Mockingbird media? Project Mockingbird is a systematic planning of the CIA to infiltrate the global media of the world so that the global media of the world will synchronize with them in order to pump their agenda for the next 20, 30 years since 1967. And the same year, they have also coined, invented, created, and charted by the CIA a term. What is a term? The term is conspiracy theories. So the term conspiracy theories was actually invented and coined by the CIA. Can you all hear me? Right, I'm going to put it closer, right? Okay. So the CIA has created Project Mockingbird to integrate, infiltrate, and then integrate all the presses, the global media into their arms in order to push their political agenda. They also created and coined a term called conspiracy theories because they know in the subsequent years to come, in the future to come, in every generation, there will be enlightened people, philosophic people, inquisitive people, knowledgeable people like us, who is willing to ask the question called 不耻下问. Ask and ask, go deeper and deeper into it. And when we do that, we're going to find the truth for ourselves because of our curiosity and because of our persistence. The moment once when we found the truth for ourselves, what will happen? We will speak the truth. And the moment once when you speak the truth, because you're still the minority, then the term conspiracy theories has already been made popular, has already been out. And then, with the control of the media that they have in their hand, the media, the unenlightened people, is going to call you what? A conspiracy theorist. In order to belittle you, in order to push you to the border, in order to make a taboo out of you. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Can people from behind see it? Yes? Give me a sign, please. Can you see it? Very good. Thank you. I often imagine myself being a fish. If I have been a fish in the ocean and I have not seen the land, will I be aware that I'm actually swimming in the ocean, swimming in the water? How do I control this thing? Okay. These are the fishes in the ocean. They are unlikely to be aware that they're in the water. The reason is because they are in the water and they have never seen land. And the same goes, like fishes in the ocean, the indoctrinated are unaware that they are indoctrinated. Agree or disagree? How do you know what you doesn't know? You can never know what you don't know, isn't it? So the indoctrinated are like fishes in the ocean. They are unable to detect that they have been indoctrinated. Are you awake or are you asleep? How many people are still awake? How many people are still asleep? I can tell you majority of people here are the enlightened one. But I tell you that is not a very good sign. The reason is because for the last 3 weeks I've been observing a trend. Take a look at here. This is my bra. Sorry, this is my must. Okay? I hate this thing with a vengeance. I hate these things with a vengeance. Listen to them. These things impeach my breathing. These things makes my breath sting. These things pump in all the toxin and bacteria. The moment once when the government says that in public place, you don't have to put on the mask. The first thing I do is to throw away another 7 pieces of my mask, just left with one, and just shove it into my pocket every time. But the negative news is, when I look around with my eyes, I begin to see that 90% of the people are still wearing it. Is that a good sign or a bad sign? Another word is, they have been indoctrinated. They have been conditioned the last 2 years. They have been systematically conditioned by the 24/7 mockingbird media globally. Your CNN, your MSNBC, even your CNA. Any media over here? Any other media here? I can tell you seriously, you guys have done a bad job. Okay? You guys can go and fly kite. When it comes to the truth, I'm a no-nonsense person. Even if Lee Hsien Loong were to come and sit in front of me, I wouldn't show him the respect if he's not telling the truth. I'm saying right here and then. Take a look at the sleepy faces of Singapore. It is a litmus test, an indicator to show that the enlightened and the awakened are far and few in between still. That's why I started my speech by saying that you guys are very lucky people and also very special indeed. You guys are the attaché, the ambassador, and the emissary of truth. Please give yourself a hooray. Please love yourself more. Because we need people like you in order to spread the truth. And it's not an easy task. Because the moment once when your eyes are open, you begin to have a bird-eye view of things, and you begin to see corners that you have never seen before. But when you begin to show other the corners, they say that you are living in the shadow, that you are overly suspicious. You're fighting against the tide. You're fighting against the mob. 37 years ago, 50 companies control the mainstream media, but fast forward to 2011, major news outlets are now controlled by only 6 powerful companies. Back in 2018, Jim Morrison, a singer and a songwriter and a poet, who served as the head vocalist of a rock band, he says something like that. What happened? I don't know why it doesn't turn up. He says that whosoever control the media, control the mind of the people. These are the 6 corporations controlling 90% of media outlets in the world. The illusion of choices. Let me tell you, when is the first time that I began to realize that our media is talking cock? I began the media is shitting to us, is farting, 放屁呀. First time. When Trump got into office back in 2016, I began to get more political. Because I hated, for the last decade, the leftists of the world, the fake liberals of the world, pushing their agenda, all in the names of sustainability, in the names of human rights, but behind it are all hypocrisy. When Trump got into office, I began to tune my channel, my TV, my internet to the White House. Every day, the American presidents or the press secretary of American presidents will give briefing. You know what I realized? In the morning, when the press giving of Trump has been given to the reporters, by the afternoon or the next day, when Trump say A, they twisted Trump's message and say it is B or C. When Trump say white, they say it is black. When Trump say hydroxychloroquine is able basically to cure the pandemic, they say that Trump is advocating a medicine for fish living in a fish tank. Everything is upside down. Then I began, the media is really lying. But because I myself are one of the many millions and billions of fishes in the ocean in the past, I am unable to detect that I am also in the ocean in the water. But that becomes an eye-opener. So I want you to just take a look at this 6 company. They control 90% of the media in the world. I'm going to give you also a situation, and you use your logic to see whether you will come to a logical and philosophical understanding. Supposing if you are the government, and supposing you are a very big government, you control the media, you control the press, will you, for your own political benefits, allow the media to be neutral and advocates its journalistic integrity and neutrality? Or because you hold so much power, will you conveniently tilt the media towards your agenda and narrative? Which one is more probable? Use your common sense. Which one is more probable? Like I say, even if Lee Hsien Loong is going to be here, I will still say the same bloody thing. Which one is more probable? The second one, of course. Am I right? That's the reason why 2,000 years ago, the first emperor of China, the first king was united the kingdom, the split kingdom of China, and became an emperor. Emperor Qin Shi Huang. How many of you Chinese people over here have heard of Qin Shi Huang Shao Shu? Thank you. What is Qin Shi Huang Shao Shu? The emperor that burns the library down. Why does the emperor need to burn the library down? Because 2,000 years ago, Qin Shi Huang has already realized that knowledge is power. If the people becomes knowledgeable, the smaller the ruling class. If the people is ignorant, the bigger the government, the bigger the ruling class. So Emperor Shawangti began in his first reign, in the first year, to burn down all the books and to prevent knowledge from spreading to the people, to prevent people from getting knowledgeable, to prevent the building up and the creations of literalities. So 2,000 years ago, it was the same. For the last 5,000 years of human history, do you think our human nature has changed much? So 2,000 years ago, later, they are doing the same thing again, but all in a brand new style because of technology. Today, common sense, I don't know why some of the words that I type in has suddenly disappeared when I transfer into this computer. I meant to be today, common sense has become uncommon. That is what I wrote yesterday. Today, common sense has become uncommon. Do you agree? Ask yourself this question. They say that this disease or this virus is extremely, extremely deadly. But it is so deadly that a disease so deadly that we need to be tested to know that we have it. How deadly can it be? How deadly can it be? I don't even know that I've got COVID if I've got COVID. As long as my immune system is very strong, as long as I'm relatively healthy and I'm still bodybuilding, I don't even know that I got COVID. Probably I already got COVID 3 times or 4 times. But I have self-healed myself. I'm not vaccinated, of course. And then, taking the MRT, like packing a pack of sardines. Am I right? They say the disease is so deadly. You guys has got to be 3 feet apart, 6 feet apart. But taking MRT is okay. Does it make sense? COVID does not disturb those who are eating. The moment once when you sit down, you have to put on a mask and you look at each another suspiciously. You got COVID, I got COVID, right? We stand 3 feet apart. But the moment once when we eat and a floating disease and a floating virus will come to every table and smell and weakness and take a look at your bloody face and say, oh, you're eating. Is that the way to go? Where's common sense? Where is the common sense? You don't need to be a award-winning scientist to basically understand the fundamental of how common sense are applied, all right? Like earlier speaker has said, Mr. Lin Tian, Brad, the size of COVID-19 is about 0.06 to 1.4 micron. That means that COVID virus particles are 5 times smaller than a hole in nearly every mask that nearly everyone put on. That doesn't mean, what does it mean? That is like tossing a tennis ball, okay, through a hula hoop. If I have got a hula hoop over here, okay, and I ask you to throw a tennis ball through it, will it be an easy task or a monumental task? If you cannot do that, something's wrong with you, isn't it? So this is exactly what it is. The mask wearing. Ask yourself this question and ask the authority this question. With the mask mandate, ask them for a peers review paper. Can they produce a peers review paper to show the fundamental of the science that the mask works? Can or cannot? So if they do not have a scientific backing, why are you listening to them? Why? Going back to the words, simply because majority has been conditioned, has been indoctrinated. Stanford study result. Stanford study. Is it a good institution? Reputable? Face masks are ineffective, blocking transmission of COVID and actually can cause health deterioration. The risks and side effects are plentiful. I'm not going to read it out. These are all the risks of side effects. And these are all going through a scientific study, through proper medical journals. In my disk, which is over there, my thumb drive, I have got a file that contains 1,380 incidents of research conducted by renowned medical journals in the world. Those who are interested, I'll post it on our website, and you guys can download it. And majority of them has got peers reviewed. Then the COVID vaccines Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll vote you. All right. So let's get back again. I've got 1,380 of this instance with scientific backing that the vaccines is indeed extremely harmful. So if those in the government were truly committed to protecting public health, there'll be frank discussions about mounting evidence that reveals the ineffectiveness and harmful consequence of face masks to the human, physical, and emotion and mental health. Am I right? But do we see the ruling party conducting such conversations with majority of the public? Do we see that? Or they unilaterally introduce their draconian lockdown, their draconian systematic destruction of small and medium-sized businesses. Now I'm going to ask you to use another common logic. Analyze. What happened to the progression of Singapore economically for the last 20 years? Are you aware, you don't have to be an economist to understand this fundamental of economics. Are you aware that 65 to 70% of the economy is pumped and powered and propelled by small and medium-sized industry? Are you aware of that? If you're not aware of that, let me tell you it is. So that means you don't look down on a coffee shop that employ 5 staff. You don't look down on the restaurants that employ 5 staffs and so on. All add up together, they amount to 65 to 70% of the jobs available in Singapore. In other words, if the small and medium-sized enterprise goes down, the livelihood of majority of the middle class goes down. Do you understand the aspect of it? Yes. So for the last 20 years, what does the government has done? The government has aggressively gives small and medium-sized encouragement, has got grants, has got loans, has got every measures to pump up the economy of Singapore through the improvement of the small and medium-sized, the support for small and medium-sized. So they have done 20 years of very hard work, extremely aggressive work. In fact, I myself, conducting some business, I've gained some grants from the government in the past. I enjoyed it, I appreciate it. Then suddenly, overnight, they say, forget about all these 20 years of effort. We have to cope the disease. We have to prevent Singaporeans from dying. Even if I have to shut down all the business and make a lot of people jobless, make a lot of people bankrupt in their small and medium-sized enterprise, I have to, as what Brad says, for the larger good. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to you, right? So still, they go ahead and do it. Because why? Many, many years ago, they already have claimed that they're the elites intellectually, that only through their PAP that they are able to basically harvest the most talented people. And you believe it. It's because you are indoctrinated to indoctrinate you to things that you are not enough. You are insufficient. Your intelligence is never on par with the people they have chosen. This is full of craps, I tell you. Okay? This is what? This is absolute nonsense. The nonsense of the century. The Straits Times, 17 April 2011. I remember that year was a very, very interesting year. I began to first get into an understanding and interest in local politics because in the past, right, I find Singapore politics a little bit boring, right? Because I don't want to see men in white walking around, okay? I find it boring. But 2011 was a very interesting year. Do you know why? Because 2011 was the first year that PAP faced a watershed election. All right? So, in 2011, what does our PM say? When he faced a watershed election and when he was still an MP of Ang Mo Kio, right? What does he say? With tears in his eye, he declared that he is the servant of the people. Do you remember that episode? That he is the servant of the people. And I can tell you, he was totally right. I want you to remember that. He was totally right. The government, the members of the government, from the statutory board to the ministry, they are all the servants of the people. And we as a collective are the masters and the deciders of this nation. Do you understand that? Please put that in mind because I'm going to the second part right, of my presentation. And with this in mind, you will find my presentation extremely relevant for the second part. Is it good enough? Right, let's have some whistle blowing to churn up the atmosphere. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. How many of you are into some religion in one form or another? Please put up your hand, please. Christian, Muslim, Buddhist. All right. What is the fundamentals of a religion or a religion sect? A religious sect's fundamental is because they have got a doctrines. They've got certain baser tenets, such as like in the Bible, if you're a Christian, you don't just only believe in Jesus Christ as a Savior, but you also believe in the 10 Commandments. Am I right? If you don't believe in 10 Commandments, it's as good as you don't have to believe in the Bible. Can I say that? So the 10 Commandments is the fundamentals to Christianity, the cornerstones of Christianity. I'm not negating other religion. I'm just quoting Christianity as an example, and I'm not a Christian. I'm just using it basically for easy understanding for everybody. That's all, okay? So if I did not quote your religion, just forgive me because we haven't have good time. So 10 Commandments is a tenets and a fundamental and the cornerstones of the religion. And we can also see that the 10 Commandments is almost like the constitution of Christianity. So what is the constitution? And why we must understand the constitution fundamentally in order to stand on our own 2 feet as Singaporean. Because if you don't understand the constitution, you do not understand the legality and the roots of the legality, the principle of it that tie this land to the nation and to the people. So the constitution is the supreme law of the land for those who believe in rights of the people and the separations of power. How many of you also understand the separation of powers? Can you please raise your hand? All right. So give an example. Carl, what is your understanding of the separation of power? Religion and state should not mix. Okay, there's only one separation of power in a secular society. But the separation of power refers to, in a democratic country, all right, most democratic country, the separation of powers refers to the legislative is one sector of the power, the judiciary is another sector of the power, and also the parliamentary is another sector of the power. The parliamentary makes law, but the parliamentary must have got the mandate of the majority of people like us in order to vote them into the parliament to represent us, to make the law that benefits the nation as a collective and as a whole. So the parliament needs the mandate of the people in order to make law by passing majority bill. It can be 51% or some bill that violates the constitution or refers to the constitution. It has to be 2/4 majority of the house. And then the judiciary upkeeps the law. The legislative or the executive runs the country by the law created by the people through the parliamentary. Can you understand that right now? That's called the separation of power. If you do not have a separation of power, you will end up with what? A monarchy. You will end up with a dictatorship. So please understand all this fundamental, because all this fundamental is extremely important if you are to become the eyes and ears of this nation. Otherwise, your eyes and ears are closed because the fundamental knowledge is not with you. And if you are not standing on fundamentals, how then can you build building? How then can you build structure upon structure on yourself, on your knowledge and your own empowerment? It's impossible. So the purpose of constitution is to cope oppressive government and preserve individual freedom while retaining a realm for exercise of legitimate governmental power. It prevents the ruling elites from having absolute power over the people. Can you please repeat after me? It prevents the ruling elites from having absolute power over the people. Does it make sense right now? Constitutional articles can only be amended with the support of more than 2/3 of all members of the parliament during the second and third reading of each constitutional amendment. Once when the constitution is agreed upon by the founding fathers to create a nation, the constitution is the baser rules of the land of the law. and it also must be relatively rigid. Just like the tenets of religion, the 10 Commandments is relatively rigid. A pastor cannot sukat and say that I do not like the third clause of the commandment and I'm going to change it. Can a pastor do that? Or can an imam just sukat change part of the Quran? Can or cannot? Cannot, right? So once when a constitution is created, it's relatively rigid. In order to change part of the constitution, it basically needs the support of more than 2/3 of all the members of the parliament in order to change it. That's how difficult it is to change the constitution. And the court has got a duty to ensure the provisions of constitution are observed. The court also has got a duty to declare invalid any exercise power, legislative, executive, which exceed the limit power conferred by the constitution. That means the court will basically decide the executive department, the executive arms, the legislative arm, whether are they violating the constitution when they want to proceed with certain act, or are they in flow with the constitution. If they violate the constitution, the court can put a stop to it. But that behold another questions. Are our courts unbiased? Is our courts the people's court? There's another question for next day, which I will not talk today. What is soft constitutional law refers to? What is soft constitutional law? This is extremely important during this pandemic. I want you all to open up your ears and your eyes. I know that, okay, it will be a long day today and it's relatively humid and sweaty, but I want you to open up your eyes and ears just for the next 5 minutes, okay? What is soft constitutional law? It's very confusing. You mean there's hardcore constitutional law? You mean there's also soft-core constitutional law like pornography? It is not. So what is soft constitution? Soft constitutional law refers to a written set of non-binding, listen, non-binding precepts which exert some degree of legal influence in the realm of constitutional law. Form of soft law includes non-binding instrument containing, see, recommendations. Okay? Sorry, it's a wrong spelling, okay? It's advisory, right? It's advisories. Government white papers, declarations, informal rules like circular or self-regulating codes of conduct. Recommendation and advisories is precisely what the mask mandate is all about. It's precisely what the vaccine is all about. It is recommended by the government that you go for vaccination. It is recommended by the government that you put on a mask. It is not constitutionally imposed. It is not hardcore constitutional law. It is soft-core constitutional law. In other words, if any citizen is strong enough to take it up and challenge the government that they have violated the constitution, you can go ahead with it. But the problem is, we have to ask this question. Politics is about numbers. From the way I say it, even when the government say we can let go of the mask right now, how many people are still wearing the mask? So although we have that part that allows the individual citizens to challenge the government, but the mask wearers will not be prepared to challenge the government. Only those who are unmasked, which is far and few in between, are prepared to it. That's why I say you guys are very special people. You need to grow the size of these unmasked people. This is the ordinary pyramid that we are used to, that we are conditioned with. I remember when I was in my early 20s, there are some town hall events conducted. And then MPs basically was sitting at some CCC or some community centers. I was there. And when you're young, you are courageous, you know. They call it alright? And I asked the MP, I said, you know, are you guys concerned about education? And they said, oh, yes, well, of course, very concerned about education. Then I asked another question, are you guys concerned about education or indoctrination? Then they say, what do you mean by education or indoctrination? I said, you know, we grew up in the same system. I remember when I was 5, 6 years old, my first school was a kindergarten. But the kindergarten was not innocently pronounced as kindergarten or written as kindergarten on the door front. The kindergarten was replaced with a big signboard, P-A-P. So what happened? 5, 6 years old, I know nothing better. People ask me, hello, Ati, where you go to school? I said, I go PAP lor. I go PAP. So I have been indoctrinated to be a PAP boy. And then I grew up to be a PAP man. And now that I'm an older man, I realize that I've been indoctrinated. Logo. Okay. So we are conditioned. Okay. We are conditioned by the government to look at this pyramid, to believe in this pyramid, this triangle, that the government rules the people. But I'm going to reverse it and let you understand that the people mandate and check the government. Do you agree with this pyramid or the previous pyramid? The second pyramid, right? Iris asked me to wrap things up because I've been a little bit long-winded. I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share this with you, that the war against evil is real, as what Brad has said. But the media and the news are mostly fake. And the awakened must fight and win this war. Lastly, some of the unvaccinated, very liberal type of people came to me and say, Alvin, you're one big conspiracy theorist. You're fanning the fire that is not there. Take a look at all of us. We have been vaccinated. Do you see every corner people dropping dead? I'm going to just tell you that not only we are very lucky, in fact, a lot of people that after vaccination did not drop dead are also relatively lucky. And do you know why? Don't trust me. After you listen to my explanation, I want you to conduct your own research. The reason is because majority of the vaccines has been replaced by a positive force. There's a negative force in this world that want to enslave us. There's also a positive force. People in the known call them the white hats. Majority of the vaccines has been replaced by placebo. But it still does not prevent the darker forces to infiltrate it and pump in 10-20% of the real vaccines. That's why there's still a lot of people dying. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that Iris movement is literally, okay, a small dot. In this area, every year we conduct a pink dot, right? But I want you to know that Iris dot here is a small dot, but it's a small, potent and concentrated dot of enlightened and awakened people, politically and socially. You are part of this small dot, like a singularity before the singularity becomes a big bang in science. Remember this, our small dot must become a big bang. Thank you.
Give it up for Elvin. Woo! All right. Now the next guy that I have invited to speak today. Okay, I met him actually at the Woodlands Bazaar. Okay, he is people call him affectionately Akun. Okay, and because we did the Woodlands Bazaar because some of the people in our community is out of job, right? They say that unvax cannot work. So what did we do? We took a outdoor space so that they can't stop outdoor people from working there. So I want to thank Akun because he has been managing the sungai below the stalls, and this is one of the places that the people on the fringe somehow last year. Okay, I thought I'm in the mainstream, but suddenly become the fringe. Why? Because I didn't want to take the vaccine. Okay, suddenly I am the disenfranchised in Singapore. Okay, so how many of you felt like me? Suddenly, because you didn't take one vaccine, or didn't want to take the vaccination program, suddenly we are outcast, in society. Where can we go? Okay, some of us went to the Woodlands Bazaar that Mr. Akun set up, and he has been doing a lot for the disenfranchised in Singapore. He's going to speak in Chinese, okay, for a short while. He's been here, and the store that he gave me, so you can't get, I only paid $10 per day. Such generosity from the bosses of Singapore that are still doing something for the unvaxxed. Okay, thank you, Akun.
I sorry, I Chinese talking OK 各位在座的朋友，大家好你们好。因为我是 你们有去过芥酸桥的旧货市场吗？有谁有去过芥酸桥旧货市场？啊，我是在芥酸桥旧货市场负责人，我们的 committee 的 chairman 就是我，我姓许，叫阿坤，啊，每一个那个时候我们芥酸桥被政府要征用的时候呢，我们就还给政府，有很多记者、电视台也有来采访，你们有看到报纸也看到我，看到电视台也看到我，我有在那个芥酸桥做了几十年的管理，在那边，所以政府为什么要赶我们班呢？他说他们要发展，哪里有发展？现在围起来，到现在都没有发展。我们芥酸桥这个旧货市场对新加坡人很有利益，为什么呢？第一就是我们各种族交流的地方，各种族交换意见的地方，所以那个地方就是我们新加坡人有时候有空消遣的地方，还有我们芥酸桥就是老人家去讨生活的地方，没有老人家有些那里不会做工了，就是要去找东西来芥酸桥卖讨生活没有老人家没有钱吗？所以有时候我看到老人家是很可怜，有时候吃都没有得吃，我快点去咖啡店打一包来给老人家吃，所以我很照顾这些老人家。我向政府讲，如果芥酸桥你们要征用呢，就是介绍一个地方，还给我们这些老人家继续讨生活下去。政府理不理，管不管还有一个部长讲说，这个是垃圾的地方，不可以。请问这个是垃圾吗？很多人有走过芥酸桥的知道，这个是垃圾，是宝来的。有些人就那边找垃圾找到的值钱的东西，有些人就搬家啦，他上一辈的老人家留下来的东西，下一辈不知道就丢掉这些老人家就去跟他拿来芥酸桥来摆摊来卖所以这个是环保，不是垃圾就是新加坡政府，我讲一句啦 ，BAP 做的是好，不过他的部长议员做的不好，为什么呢？我们新加坡人来选他起来，选一个议员起来，代表我们人民做事情，现在不是了。现在你选他，他是做部长，他为做了很好了咯，他不管你们人民了咯。我是部长嘞，我是做定了了讲一句不好听的，部长是我们人民选给他，他有部长做了。现在他要来给我们做什么？讲一句不是旧货，就是叫我们做什么？叫我们做清洁工人。为什么做清洁工人呢？你们去好个什么地方吃饭、吃面、吃什么？要抹桌子、收碗盘，叫我们人民要收碗盘，是不是叫我们做清洁工人？对吗？我们每一个人都要做清洁工人。 我们这个清洁工人是政府逼我们做的，你们没有骂作纸，没有收碗盘就要罚款300块，是不是逼我们做清洁工人呢？这个是很不对的。你会做到部长是我们人民选给你们的，为什么还要利用我们人民来收碗盘呢？还要这些，所以新加坡的政府讲一句做一句，所以我们接栓桥，我们跟他讲，我们没有条件还给政府，政府留一个地方给我们这些老人家，还要来讨生活，他们政府不批准，不批准我们不要紧，我们就去找地方，我们找在那个在这个必须的那边有个地方，我们就向政府申请，政府URA 说，这些的北京的地方不可以给你们卖旧货，这个是北车，不是北京，不是卖旧货的。我要请问政府做了公平吗？政府做了很不公平，因为它是在无人工业区，那个工业区的停车场，有一个人去申请卖旧货，他就批准他去那边卖。他现在卖了，我们这双桥已经到现在2、3年没有了，所以他们去申请那边，他们也不是我们这双桥的人，他是外人去申请那边，政府批准。我们在这双桥，我们有一个 committee， 我们 committee 申请，他不批准，这样公平吗？不公平为什么他们可以做，我们不可以做？他们无人的人，工厂那边也是在那个停车场里面来摆摊。我在黄金大厦申请，我在黄金大厦租一个地方，停车场的地方来做。他说他是停车的，不是给你们卖旧货的。所以新加坡政府做了很不公平。还有，你政府要消灭政府这个旧货呢，就是全部不可以，不要说我们申请不可以，别人申请可以，这样对我们这些老人家，对我们这三条的人很不公平。我就说，政府做事就是讲一套做一套，没有真正的他讲的就照讲的来讲。所以我们改次要投票的时候呢，我们要看好这个人可以投他吗？还是投他的时候他还要叫我们做功课就不对了。因为我们投他就是要他代表我们做事情了，不要反过来叫我们做事情这个收碗盘就是他们反过来叫我们做清洁工人了所以今天的事我要给大家知道，政府做了完全不对。我感谢 BAP 是好，不是他的有些部长议员不好就是他以为他坐定了这个位置，这个位置是我们人民给他的呢，不是他有办法来做这个位的。我们人民不要选他，他有这个位置做吗？没有所以我请大家记得，要投票的时候要想好，这个人可以选他吗？不可以选他，就选另外反对党也好，选来。现在新加坡就是BAP讲话，没有人敢讲话。他说一就是一， 你们反对不可以啊。他说2就是2，你们也不可以反对，因为怎么样呢？因为我们的反对党太过小，太过不够力，所以我们改次要大选的时候，我们要想哦，反对党选多一点，在国会代表我们人民讲话，所以不要给 BAP， 什么事情都他讲的好，我们就是要注意这一点啊，我们就是不要给他全部讲到完，我们也是有反对党代表我们人民来在国会来为我们争取我们的事情啊，所以这句话是我本身讲的啊，所以有犯法没有犯法我也不怕，因为我现在今年82岁了，我怕什么啊？我已经老了，他要抓我就来抓咯就是有这样的事情，所以我今天就讲到现在为止。我谢谢各位支持一下，谢谢。
Thank you, Mr. Akun. Okay, if you ever go to his bazaar, he'll be there. Okay, next up, I'll tell you, next up is Miss Heidi Mock. Okay, as you know, she was the plaintiff in our SPH suit for the not a statement of fact lawsuit. Okay, so she will just share a little bit. Be careful, there's a wire. Maybe. She'll just share a little bit about why she took up the lawsuit and just some notes from there. Okay, give it up for Heidi.
I'm happy to be with the family, the Healing Divide family, and I'm happy to see all of you as well. But let me tell you something. I'm going to be very short because I think all the speakers, the wonderful speakers, have taken away whatever I wanted to say. so I'll keep it short. But let me tell you something. Never believe what the press writes. Okay? Never, never, never believe what they write. If you read it, you do some homework. Don't swallow it. Okay? They instilled so much of fear at the beginning. And being a non-vaxxed and hearing all the bad things about unvaxxed, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, okay? But hearing all these things about us being the spreaders of COVID, what rubbish, okay? Also hearing that they want to protect us, so they will do whatever they want to confine us, so to just keep us safe. So that's also utter rubbish. So all I want to tell you, all these things that keep coming out in the papers, it's safe. The vaccines are safe. Go and get jabbed. Think before you do. There are no paper, no documents that can prove that, firstly, these vaccines are safe. And if you really look around with people just getting all this injury and all these deaths that are happening, which we can't say it's due to the vaccines, but these people that I even know that from friends, parents who have passed on, who have had underlying issues like what they will say, they didn't die of the vaccine, they died of underlying issues, but they've been around for so long, 10, 15 years. Some have diabetes, some have hypertension, but they're always on drugs to keep them going. And the only thing new that they did was to get vaccinated. And the next thing you know, a week later, 2 weeks later, they're gone. So it's very, very sad. But please, 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 be careful what you read. I don't read the papers anymore because it writes a lot of rubbish. Okay? But it's very sad that I have to say this, and I hope that the press will start waking up and writing news that will help us, not news that will mislead us. Okay? So everyone's spoken so long. My conversation is very short. But please stay safe.
Thank you very much, Heidi. Yes, we don't want any propaganda from the press, do we? We don't want the fake news media. They have the power, they have the whatever to say whatever, they have a responsibility to the public. Okay, this is the core of who they are. If they are the good media, they should be responsible and report both sides. Okay, give us fair reporting, not just what the government wants them to say. Because the truth is not just said by the government, right? Because we know doctors, scientists, they are all speaking up around the world. Okay, the next person who will be speaking actually is my husband, Raymond. Okay, I want to thank him a lot. Okay, before he speaks, I just want to say something. You know, a lot of these internet trolls, they always say that Raymond is the mastermind behind. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm actually quite offended. Because are they saying that a woman is not capable of doing something? Okay? Okay, I'm not saying I'm the mastermind, okay, but I can tell you that I'm the only director of Iki Book Limited. Okay, I'm responsible for what happens. Okay, Raymond of course has been a pillar of strength, and he has always been very supportive. I can't do this if I do not have a good husband who's supportive, right? You know, so many people I know, they want to do, but their spouse doesn't give the blessing. Okay, if your spouse doesn't give the blessing, then it's very difficult, because the thing that I'm doing is not exactly the normal everyday thing that people can do. It's not a very popular thing, is it? Okay, I never thought I would do this. Okay, but the thing is that I cannot not speak up when I know what is happening. All right, my conscience doesn't allow me not to speak up. That's why I speak up. Okay, and I encourage, and I know that every single person sitting right here, if you're sitting right here, you have a conscience, right? And you are here because you have a conscience, and your conscience is telling you that you cannot not speak up, you cannot not do something, you cannot just turn a blind eye. All right, today we can no longer turn a blind eye because they have more in store for us. All right, but now I want to give the time now to Raymond, who's been a very supportive husband to me, and I want to thank him for his support. Okay, and I'll just pass the mic to him. I don't know what he's going to say. All right.
Hello, everyone. Hello. You all know there's a saying behind every successful woman, there's a man. But, but anyway, Iris is successful in her own right. So I may be behind her, but I'm not the mastermind. She actually, a lot of things she has been doing, she's 100% capable of doing it herself. Okay? So now, I just want to say, I'm her husband. So a few days before the Chinese New Year, Iris was arrested. Okay? So and then when I called the police, apparently the police has a procedure in which if the spouse is being arrested, then they will have a designated officer to call me every 12 hours to update what is going on. So I called a police officer. Basically, I can just call him and later ask about Iris, okay? So I called the police and then they said, and then of course that was before the Chinese New Year. She said that, they said that Iris was in hospital, okay? I can't say a lot because the trial is ongoing, and then if I say a lot, then they will send me a letter, say that contempt of court. But anyway, whatever I can say, So they said that the Iris was in hospital, and they told me that Iris safety was their first and foremost duty, okay? That they are here to protect Iris. Wow. Okay, I want to ask you guys, do you guys like this kind of protection? This kind of protection? You guys like this kind of protection? Yes or no? No, right? I cannot hear you. You say it. No, okay. Good. We are on the same page. Then I asked the police officer, I say to him, actually, if you didn't arrest her, right, she won't be in the hospital. So in a way, it's a bit no point. Then the IO say something. Okay, the IO, the chief not the IO, the chief of all the IO. So he called me. He said that he asked me. He gave me an example. Okay, he said Raymond, Mr. Ng. Okay, if let's say the police officer arrested a terrorist, right, do you think that the police will release him even though we don't have enough evidence? Then I just corrected him. I say, Iris is not a terrorist. Okay? Okay. So, and then of course what he said is that the police officer is here because the police doesn't know enough about her involvement. So they have to arrest her and put her into remand to protect the public. Okay? But I want to say always the regular team is always protection. So I ask you, do you guys like this kind of protection? So I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. Oh, okay. So you see, in fact, I believe the government like to protect us so much. I believe among here there are government spies too. And what is their reason of being here? It's to protect us. Guys, do you like this kind of protection? Yeah. So you see, generally you have a guess of who the government spies are. If they are raining, they are still here. They are probably spies. Either here or around. If they are still here, that means they are probably spies because they are doing job. Raining also must do. Right? Okay. So now, then I asked the IO, why was there a charge when they do not yet have beyond reasonable doubt evidence? Okay. Well, then the IO corrected me. He said charging does not need beyond reasonable doubt evidence. It is only during trial they needed to. Okay. This is a technicality. So now they don't need to have beyond reasonable doubt. But charging no need. Charging just need to. Then I asked why they charge. And of course, from what they see from the press, of course, when they charge, what's the reason? To protect the public again. Okay, guys, how many of you like this kind of protection? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Louder. Oh. Okay. Okay. So, and then now back to what is happening to our country. Of course, the multi-million task force. The multi-ministry task force. Okay, MMTF implements the vaccine measure for the people they want the country to be vaccinated. And what reason did they give? They want to protect Singaporean citizens. How many of you like this kind of protection? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Okay. And then, of course, they want to protect the people who are going to go for vaccination. Of course, for the unvaccinated, they are launching the differentiated measure. Okay. I actually nearly want to say discriminated measure, but I don't want to give them the coupon mark. So it's differentiated measure. Okay. So the unvaccinated are prevented from going to eat in coffee shop, hawker center. We cannot go to shopping mall. And what reason did the government give? It is again to protect us again. How many of you guys like this kind of protection? Okay, there are a lot of protection measures. I need to see whether I can miss anything or not. Okay, so now, you see, after a while, when Iris, when she came out, and then of course we know that it's going to be a long battle, a few years of probably going out of courts. Okay. So, and then of course after we raised money for her legal fund, right? Immediately I know that her legal fund will be in danger. Okay, so I will just say, why not just change into cryptocurrency and put into crypto so that they cannot have access. Okay, and then just after I do that, right? The banks call her and then they say, we're going to close down all her bank accounts. Okay, of course the banks will just close down. Of course they give her back the money. The reason given was that based on the contract, they have the right to terminate. Okay, basically everyone have the right to terminate the contract. And then of course when I check with a lot of people, whenever anyone that are being charged or investigated, right, the bank will generally close down the bank account. And of course, the bank close down the bank account is because the government want to protect people. So they do not want to be involved in hurting people because the people who are investigated may be involved truly in a crime. So the thing is that the bank closed down her account is because, again, the government wants to protect. Yes. How many of you like this kind of protection? Okay, and then the thing is that the IO also mentioned, of course, I'm not speculating, I'm just saying that this may happen. I'm not trying to say, in case the government spies, please report correctly to your bosses. I'm not saying that the whatever, okay, the IO mentioned to me that the charges could be dropped if more evidence are revealed indicating her innocence or insufficient evidence to proceed further. Actually, you know, whenever they cannot charge someone or the charges drop, they will never say that you are innocent. They say they cannot find evidence against you. So that means they are trying to say that you are not because you are innocent, it's because you are very good at hiding evidence. Then whenever they investigate you, you're dead. Okay? But anyway, the thing is I want to say is that, okay, whenever the government try to have this kind of measure on you, you are considered gone case. I mean, let me just share with you a story that I'm a fervent history reader, and then I like to read. There is this, during the witch hunt, European and US do a lot of witch hunt. And then when they catch a woman and suspect her of being a witch, you know what they do? They have a test, just like a COVID test. They will throw the woman into the river, right? If they sink and die, right, they are innocent. If they float and survive, they are witch, so they will burn alive. So whenever you are caught, you are confirmed dead one, It's either you are dead and innocent or you are guilty or dead. Anyway, either way you are dead, okay? So whenever the law wants to protect you, wants to investigate you, right, you are considered, you are being ostracized, and then, you have your bank account closed, and then the society try to avoid you, okay? This kind of protection by the government, if there is a form that I want to submit in and say, can I not do without a submission, I will consider very serious to sign, okay? So the thing is that, okay, on my own case, I mean, of course, many of you would have probably heard of the story about my business venture, and then, of course, there are a lot of defamation regarding me about in rice media. And because of the rice media issue, I was also being arrested, I was being arrested last year before Iris. So I was remanded for 15 hours. 15 hours, that's in a day. Iris was remanded for 15 days. It's a bit different. My 15 hours, right, I was there is like a hell. I cannot imagine how 15 days like. Okay? So the thing is that, like, when they make a pre-report on you and then there's an event on you, you are sort of, you cannot say that they assume you are guilty. But the point is that for the sake of the safety of the public, right, one innocent person has to go to jail for 15 hours or 15 days, just for the sake of the society, And I tell you what, the reason why 15 hours, 15 days, is generally because the police are stupid, Because they don't know how to read, accounts. If they know how to read accounts, I don't even have to go in for 15 days, 15 hours. And then the thing is that, why did the Irish went into day for 15 days? Because they need time to investigate. And why are they slow? Because they're stupid. They are incompetent. Their investigation is too slow already, okay? So they need time, okay? The spy don't tell your boss, I say, police are stupid. That's my opinion, no problem. Okay? So, okay, anyway. And okay, during Chinese New Year, of course, we launched an appeal for Iris to be released from remand. Of course, you know that our appeal failed. Okay? And then, of course, on that day, many of our enemies asked people to come to our home to disturb us. And then, as a result, I called the police. I called the police, and the police came. The police came, right? Then after they drive the people away, right? Then I was very sad. I talked to the police. Then I say today is a very sad day for me. It's a Chinese New Year, and my wife was not with me. Then the police asked me, where is your wife? Then I say, your colleague arrested her. Your colleague arrested her. Then she looked at the name because there was a paperwork. They asked for donor debt recovery, and then they write her name, Iris Khoo. Then the police looked at it and say, Iris Khoo, that name sounds very familiar. Of course, very familiar. Your colleague just arrested here. Then they you know what they say to me? I'm sure my colleague at the Central Police Division is going to take good care of her and protect her. How many of you like this kind of protection? I cannot hear you guys. How many of you like this kind of protection? How many? Okay. Okay. But however, I'm very grateful that the police officer came to protect me. But this one is a bit different, right? Because I requested for it. I requested for it. Okay? I didn't request them to protect me from the vaccine, or either the vaccine or the COVID. I didn't request them to protect me. So why should they meddle with my life? Okay? So we see, and also at the same time, because of what we stand for, right? We made a lot of our friends very angry. Many of us ask us why we do not believe in the government. And that why we are anti-government. In the first place, actually, we are not anti-government. We're just anti-stupidity, okay? Okay, so the thing is that, and then of course at the same time, I also become very amazed and puzzled, okay? You know me, first of all, you must know, how many of you can tell that I went through national service? How many of you can tell? How many of you can, I mean, don't like ignore the tummy lah, huh? During the NS, I'm quite slim and sexy, a good looking soldier, okay? So the thing is that, when I was an army boy, right, I know that actually our loyalty is sworn to the state and country, not to the government. You know that, no? Our loyalty is sworn to the country and state. We owe no loyalty to the government, no. Not a single bit, no. That is why army officers, they are commissioned officers, but they are commissioned by the President of Singapore. We are not commissioned by the government of Singapore. Okay, but of course I'm not an officer, but I just know that we are commissioned by the president. We owe no loyalty to the government, and the thing is that there is a rule in the military law that says that we cannot take orders from a civilian, you know. But the parliament is civilian, you know. As long as they are civilian, they cannot command us, which is why I find they are very smart, because many of the ministers are generous, you see. So they see, the thing is that when they are in the parliament, they are civilian. And then when they're reservists, they become general. Then they say, oh my God, that's so convenient. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying that, I mean, it's just quite coincident. How come so many of our MP they are generous? That means technically when they go back, when they are recalled for duty, they are straight away general, you know. I mean, it's so convenient, right? But anyway, I think it's coincident. I'm not saying the government is guilty or anything. Okay. No puffma, please. No puffma. Okay. So anyway, so for the matter, based on just pure law, right? I do not need to be loyal to the government. Okay, I'm loyal to the country and the state. Even our pledge, did we say that we must pledge our loyalty to the government? No, not to the state, to the country. Okay. The thing is that you not know that the government needs my permission to continue running. They need my permission. So why do I need to be loyal to someone who needs my permission to continue running? Why? They need my permission to continue running, you know. Okay, to be fair, they need our permission, not me. They need our permission to continue running. Okay? I am their master. Why do I need to be loyal to my servant? After all, they also always say they are public servant, right? They are public servant. They are, for all intent and purpose, they are servants. Hey, my kala pofma. Okay. So the thing is that I want to have a loving life with my wife. I want to have a wonderful family life, wonderful personal life, and while at times I may request for protection, okay? If I request for protection, I will call 999. So before I call 999, please don't come and disturb my life. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so maybe at this point, I'll just also give some updates about my lawsuit. Okay, just simple one. You guys know that actually I'm supposed to have a hearing in March. Okay, it was postponed for 8 weeks and supposed to be on Monday next week, 9th of May. So on Friday, the AGC contacted my lawyer, say want to postpone again for another 8 weeks. Okay, and you know, I just received the confirmation that it's postponed. Postponed got a few reasons lah. Do you think the government actually want to charge me as soon as possible? Of course they want to lah. If they find evidence, they will definitely want to put me behind so I have to be here and standing and talk to you at Hong Lim Park, right? Don't you think so? Okay, but anyway, maybe they need more time lah. Okay, I already got a lot of time. 15 days I was inside. Okay, but anyway, well, I just say that it's postponed again. They told me, and then I just received they now want to see me on 6th of June, 2022. Another 666 . Okay, they want to see me then lah. Okay, but anyway, some of you will know about my 666 story when I was at SGH . So you know that when I was checked in, when I was in remand, they wanted to put me at Ward 66. Okay, room 4, bed 11. Okay, which is 4 plus 11, 4 plus 1 plus 1 is 6. Okay, so SGH wanted to put me on a 666 bed, which I objected vehemently. Okay, I say under the constitution, I am entitled to my religious views, and I do not want to sleep on a satanic 666 bed. Okay, so so at that point, so I just give you an update. So Monday, no need to go for hearing. The next date is 6th of June. So it seems like they need more time. Okay, all right. So like what women say, like when they start investigating you, they can always drag. Okay, then of course, if I would say that luckily I'm resourceful. Okay, I am not working for somebody. If I am working for somebody, probably my boss will have sacked me already. Why you go and do this kind of thing where you appear in newspapers so often and blah 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 blah, right? There are people who already don't want to friend me, right? Because somehow I become very famous in the newspaper, all right? But like I say, if it's important enough and what we have to do, we have to do. Okay, the rest of the judgment we leave it to God. Okay, because at the end of the day, we all have to die anyway, right? One of these days, we will have to meet our maker. All right, that's all I will say. I won't say any more religious stuff. It's not any religious thing. I just say that it's a fact of life. Everybody has to die. And when you're at your deathbed in your last moments, you probably see your life flash in front of you. Have you done those things? Have you spoken up? Have you made a stand? Okay? Did you look after the people around you? Okay, these are all questions that only you can answer for yourself. Did you tell the truth? Did you make a mark when it was important? Did you speak up when it matters? When it matters the lives of so many people? Okay, so at this point, maybe we can, is there anybody else that is waiting to say something? I'll just short announcement. There's a dinner at the corner. All right, so if you have ordered something, please go and get it before we release the rest of the dinner to people. I mean, it's there. You know, if you can't afford it, just come and tell us. We will give you one bento for free. Okay. So at this moment, oh yes, let's have a group photo. This is such a nice group photo. Okay, let me tell you what's going to happen after this. After this, at around 7:30, when it goes a bit darker, we will have a memorial service for the victims. And there's more testimonials, by the way. I think we have some, Ramesh, he's not speaking anymore? Okay, we actually have a booth also at the back. Let me just tell you what we have. We have the booth at the back. Can the people at the back, the booth, okay, can you please stand up? We have actually, the booth is meant by some of our unvaxxed nurses who actually were not allowed to work anymore because they were unvaxxed in the front lines. Okay, they're here to help you. All right, so if you are suffering from any vaccine injury and so forth, please go and see them. We'll try to help you claim to apply for the vaccine injury financial scheme. Okay, it's extremely difficult to get anyway. Right, you got to be near death or fatal, that kind of thing, and but doesn't matter. And we also have a banner out there if you want to take a photo. Okay, that we list out the 1291 Pfizer side effects. Okay, when it's still dark, you can take some photos. Okay, it's a very, very long list, and this is just the first Pfizer dump. Okay, first Pfizer document dump is over there. Okay, I can tell you that the people in this room, we have read more and we know what's happening. All right, the people who are outside, somehow maybe they didn't have time, maybe life is too busy, they didn't bother to find out. Okay, but I just want to say that we are not here to say we are superior or anything. We're just here because we care for our fellow Singaporeans. Some of them may become sick very soon. All right, maybe some are already suffering from some things after the vaccine. All right, I'm not saying it's due to the vaccine, I'm saying it's after the vaccine. And if it is not properly diagnosed, if the real root cause is not even acknowledged, how are they going to get better? Okay, if you are suffering from rashes after the vaccine, okay, if you are suffering from, let's say, rashes, I've met so many people with rashes, okay, after the vaccine. When they went to see the doctor just brushed them aside, says not due to the vaccine, gave them some cream and so forth. Do you think it's going to get better? Because, why? It's inside them. The impurities of the vaccine is inside them. Okay, we know that the skin is the largest organ in the body. When there's impurities or whatever in your system, it may detox through the skin. Okay, so that could be one of the things. But anyway, there's a whole list, 1291 side effects. If your doctor gave you a condition, go and find out what is inside that list. Okay, there's also, you can also scan and join our mailing list, and please do that. Yeah, you join our mailing list so that you can get informed. If you want to, if you're not in our Telegram, you're not on our, we have a simple website, just news and so forth. You know, please join so that you know what's going on. Okay, sorry. Yeah, do you want to say that? Cause it would be better if you explain. Dr. Jonte is here. Would you like to say anything? Please give a round of applause for Dr. Jonte. He has been so helpful and so courageous. Dr. Jonte, you want to say something? Okay, he can't say the prayer tonight because MPAX told me no religious stuff. So we cannot pray, we can say a moment of silence, okay? But since Dr. Jonte is here, I'll get him to say something, okay? And thank you so much, Dr. Jonte, for standing up for this.
Hello, I think you circulating one video, 1 minute video being circulated. So maybe you can see that one. I got 3 main points there. So I think, and tell people to wake up. It's time to wake up. And if you talk about side effects, Pfizer has already released their documents. There's no more conspiracy theory. They themselves have admitted, because the judge ruled that they must release them. So do look at all those for yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jonte. And Dr. Jonte has actually, he is a pioneer in the medical, in this, you know, he has trained so many doctors, okay, in Singapore. All right, and I'm very, very glad that, and unfortunately, unless you are retired, okay, you're a doctor, you're retired, you probably won't be here today because your license, you know, every year they have to renew their license. And doctors have a lot of fear speaking up. And of course, I know many doctors who don't believe in this. They're talking to me. Everybody talks to me because I'm standing up and they know I'm safe, so they talk to me. So I know a lot of things, okay? So, yeah, so at this point, we will play some music. And okay, Ramesh, is there anybody who wants to say something? Is a person here? Left already, huh? Okay. So anyway, like I say, we will have a little intermission. Can we take an intermission 10 to 15 minutes? Okay. There's dinner. Photo. We need to take a photo. Can we? Okay. Why don't we turn around here and then we take a photo and then to wave to our to the people on Zoom also. Randy, can you help us with the video thing?
I don't want. I don't like that number.
Okay, so there are some activities that you guys can be part of. The rain has stopped, luckily. The ground is of course still wet. Okay, but there are there is ply cards and all that. At about when it gets a bit darker, we will turn on the We'll turn on the lights, okay, and we'll have a moment of silence and all this that you can do for the people who have died after taking the vaccine or are injured, and to also just, say a little quiet prayer for Singapore, because I think our country is in need of healing, and we really, really want people to wake up. Okay, and we'll play some videos. If Alex, you have some videos. Okay, we'll play now some videos from the community. All right, over the last few months that I've been doing this work, so many people have spoken up. Okay, so we'll hear some stories from them, and so you can hear from them. Okay. Hello, testing. Testing, testing. Hello, testing. Use this mic, yeah.
Test. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test.
Hi, hi.
quite busy last few days, so I actually wanted to make a donation to PayNow, but
Okay.
I didn't really get down
Yeah,
to doing
no,
it. Can I
no
just
problem.
pass you
Yeah,
some,
sure, sure, sure.
some token? Testing, test. Donation to the event.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Can.
Thank you, thank you.
No, not yet. Huh? If they have, I mean, if they have. Okay, if they have, I can include. If not, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can.
Hello, testing. Okay, so we're going to play some videos here. Please move around. There is still more things. We want to let you hear the song from the community. All right, which I got Waiki. In fact, maybe okay, we'll play this video and then we'll play the song. Okay, and we have YE here who will be she's in the song, so she will be singing that song. Okay, so please hang around maybe for another 10-15 minutes. Okay, and yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, never mind. We have a little technical. Okay. Wow, jacket ah, not hot ah. Hello. Soon. Yeah. YE. Yeah. Does it work? Okay, if not, I will play from here. Like, I tell you, why don't I just play? I just play from here. Does it? But I need this. This one. No, don't have. It's all this. Just now the only way that worked was here. The blue thing. By the way, those haven't signed the petition one, please go sign it. Okay, I think it's 100 plus only. There's more than 100 plus people here. So the bit.ly/capital S stop capital T and then capital W. Ooh, okay. Okay, so how do I do this? Oh yeah, it's there.
Problem is the audio. Don't know whether can hear because we don't have audio.
Yeah. We do Alvin one. I mean the
Andrew, right?
and followed by who ah? Just let me know when you. We will play. I'll play
Andrew
Doctor.
is,
I'll play
from.
Doctor John play first.
Okay, can.
Okay.
I think you may need to angle your mic.
Hello, this is Dr. Ibrahim. There is now overwhelming
Is it
scientific
on?
evidence
Hello, test.
that messenger RNA vaccines are very dangerous to health, and this is strongly supported by documents released by Pfizer recently. The vaccines do not prevent infection. On the contrary, vaccinated people are more likely to get infected, hospitalized, and die from COVID than the unvaccinated.
Okay, we have some technical things. So anyway, okay, we'll take a Feel free to mingle around, talk to people, and so forth. We will take a little short break for the tech team.
you're naughty and nice. My heart does crazy each time I'm with you, but your mama says you're much too young today. We meet on the corner and we share a kiss or two. How long did your mama think we'd wait, wait, wait? Gingerbread, 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 gingerbread. You're full of sugar, you're full of spice. You're kinda naughty, but you're naughty and nice. My heart does crazy each time I'm with you, but your mama says you're much too young today. We meet on the corner and we share a kiss or two. How long did your mama think we'd wait, wait, wait? Gingerbread, 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 gingerbread. You're full of sugar, you're full of spice. You're kinda naughty, but you're naughty and nice.
Hello, testing. Everybody, good news. We have extra dinner. So if you, so please join us. You know, go to the store and grab some dinner for yourself. Okay. and it's on us. Okay, just enjoy the dinner and for the next part.
I just need someone in my life to give it structure, to handle all the selfish ways I'd spend my time without her. You're everything I want, but I can't deal with all your love. You're saying I'm the one, but it's your actions that speak louder. Giving me love and you are down and need another. I've gotta get away and let you go. I've gotta get over. But I love you so. I love you so.
There's a rain cloud over me, a veil over my eyes. I can see beyond today or tomorrow. I don't know why I can't breathe with ease. Something's not quite right. Do you feel it? Am I dreaming?
There's some ringing in my ears. My eyes are failing. There's a pain in my heart from the sorrow and the spite. Is it wrong to ask or to wonder why? Some friends have changed and others have died. Open your eyes, open your heart. Listen and find the truth inside you. See the blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always happy. Don't let them divide us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. If you're feeling all alone and no one seems to know, wondering if you need another shot to keep your job. There's a rain cloud over me, a veil over my eyes. I can see beyond today or tomorrow. I don't know why I can't breathe with ease. Something's not quite right. Do you feel it? Am I dreaming?
There's some ringing in my ears. My eyes are failing. There's a pain in my heart from the sorrow and the spite. Is it wrong to ask or to wonder why some friends have changed and others have died?
Open your eyes, open your heart. Listen and find the truth inside you. See the blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always happy. Don't let them divide us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. If you're feeling all alone and no one seems to know, wondering if you need another shot to keep your job, don't be afraid. There's a better way. Find the strength within you. You are stronger than you think. Open your eyes, open your heart. Listen and find the truth inside you. See the blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always happy. Don't let them divide us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. There's a reason we are here. We need to stand up. There are people who are hurt. We need to speak up. There's a wall against us. If we do nothing, it'll be the end of us. Running out of time, running out of life. Open your eyes, open your heart. Listen and find the truth inside you. See the blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always have been. Don't let them divide us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
There's a reason we are here, we need to stand up. There are people who are hurt, we need to speak up. There's a war against us, if we do nothing, it will be the end of us. Open your eyes, open your heart, listen and find the truth. See the blue sky and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always have been. Don't let them divide us.
It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
We're going to have the next part, which is the memorial service. Because it's wet, so we'll just put some of the placards that we need on here. We'll turn off some lights and we'll darken it, and then we'll say some we'll say a quiet minute of silence and so forth for them. Okay, so we just need some help. We'll use this table lah. Okay, we'll use this.
I just need someone in my life to give it structure, to handle all the selfish ways I'd spend my time without her. You're everything I want, but I can't deal with all your lovers. You're saying I'm the one, but it's your actions that speak louder. Giving me love and you are down and need another. I've gotta get away and let you go. I've gotta get over. But I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. I'm gonna pack my things and leave you behind. This feeling's old and I know that I've made up my mind. I hope you feel what I felt when you shattered my soul. 'Cause you were cruel and I'm a fool, so please let me go. But I love you so. Please let me go. I love you so. Please let me go. I love you so. Please let me go. I love you so.
I'm not angry anymore. Well, sometimes I am. I don't think badly of you. Well, sometimes I do. It depends on the day, the extent of all my worthless rage. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm syrupy sweet. I rot your teeth down to their core if I'm really happy. Depends on the day if I wake up in a giddy haze. Well, I'm not angry. I'm not totally angry. I'm not all that angry anymore.
Okay, just stand by this song. Okay,
I know,
okay,
I know.
now it's a bit dark.
After you went off, he said he guessing you are Muslim. I say, what's he
Can
going
we
to do
on
anything?
a bit more until we...
That's why I said she's slutty.
No, I just tell her, you don't talk about people's religion. People never talk about it. You asking about it, very rude one.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And then we
yeah.
and then
I
we
mean, you
move
disagree,
on,
you move
okay?
on, it's okay.
Of course I move on. That's why I said she look after the step.
Yeah. Getting dark.
Yeah. Oh no.
Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar just like a ringing a bell. Go, go!
Instrumental. Maybe I'll say something. Okay, everybody, we are about to begin the next segment. So we have over here, we are lighting some lights, okay, for the people who have passed away from the vaccine, not acknowledged after the vaccine, okay. So okay, we can off the lights also. Yeah, I think we'll just off the lights. Okay, or you know what? We can face on the other side. How about we do this? Y'all can. Yeah, facing this side lah. I think we just face this side lah. Yeah. We'll play the Fall on Me. Okay, we'll take a minute of silence. Okay. We'll just play this song. Fall on Me. Fall on Me. We'll just play this song as from Andre Bocelli. May I get everybody to like have a minute of silence for the people who has passed on from the after taking the vaccine. Okay. Of course, we're not saying it is, but
I thought sooner or later the lights up above will come down in circles and God
yeah, you're welcome to. If you want to come here and walk around, it's fine. If you want to just be in your place, it's fine. But perhaps I'd just like you to like think about what we want Singapore to be, and we hope that more people will be able to find some answers. Okay, if they are injured, that they get better soon. After they get the right answers, you know, they seek the right medical treatment. All right. And you will just play this song. Yep. We'll play this song as a minute of silence, okay, for the people. Okay.
I thought sooner or later the lights up above will come down in circles saying God made a love. But I don't know what's right for me. I cannot see straight. I've been here too long and I don't want to wait for it. Fly like a cannon lost straight to my soul. Tear me to pieces and make me whole.
There's a rain cloud over me, a veil over my eyes. I can see beyond today or tomorrow. I don't know why I can't breathe.
From where you are, fall on me with all your light, with all your light, with all your light. Presto una luce ti illuminerà, seguila sempre, guidarti saprà. Tu non arrenderti, attento a non perderti, e il tuo passato avrà senso per te. Vorrei che credessi in te stesso, ma sì, in ogni passo che muoverai qui. È un viaggio infinito, sorriderò se nel tempo che fugge mi porti con te. Fall on me, ascoltami. Fall on me, abbracciami. Fall on me, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai. I close my eyes and I'm seeing you everywhere. I step outside, it's like I'm breathing you in the air. I can feel you're there. Fall on me, ascoltami. Fall on me, abbracciami. Fall on me with all your light, with all your light, with all your light.
Okay, so that was the song that we play for those people who have passed away. And I also want to play another video. Okay, this is the video from the Healing the Divide community, the people who sent in their ply cards, okay, for the year, those who have suffered from various injustices. Some have lost their jobs, some have actually left Singapore. Many have left Singapore, okay, as I know. Singapore is very hard to be our home when we can't even work here. Okay.
able to overcome the challenges that lie ahead and heal the divide. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all of you for listening and standing together with us. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all of you for listening and standing together with us, despite our vaccination status and medical choices. These are hard times, but we know that when enough people speak up and stand united with empathy and courage, we will be able to overcome the challenges that lie ahead and heal the divide in our country.
I know it's all you've got.
Thank you.
To just be strong. And it's a fight just to keep it together, together. I know you think that you are too far gone, but hope is never lost. Hope is never lost. Hold on, don't let go. Hey, hold on, don't let go. Just stay one step closer, put one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. You're gonna be okay. I know your heart is heavy from those nights, but just remember that you are a fighter, a fighter. You never know just what tomorrow holds, and you're stronger than you know. You're stronger than you know. Hold on, don't let go. Hey, hold on, don't let go. Just stay one step closer, put one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. One step closer, put one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. You're gonna be okay. And when the night is closing, don't give up and don't give in. This won't last. It's not the end. It's not the end. You're gonna be okay. When the night is closing in, don't give up and don't give in. This won't last. It's not the end. It's not the end. You're gonna be okay.
Stand in the light and be seen as we are. Didn't I tell you I hear what you say? Never look back as you're walking away. Carry the music, the memories, and keep them inside you. Laugh every day. Don't stop those tears from falling down. This is who I am inside. This is who I am. I'm not gonna hide. 'Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far to stand in the light and be seen as we are. Stand in the light and be seen as we are. With courage too late to reach for the branch and climb up, leaving sadness behind. You fight hard for love. We can never give enough. This is who I am inside. This is who I am. I'm not gonna hide. 'Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far to stand in the light and be seen as we are. Stand in the light and be seen as we are. Right in the storms that come raging toward us, we die. Holding our breath as we break through the surface with arms open wide. With arms open wide. This is who I am inside. This is who I am. I'm not gonna hide. 'Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far to stand in the light and be seen as we are. Stand in the light and be seen as we are. 'Cause the greatest risk we'll ever take is by far to stand in the light and be seen as we are. Stand in the light and be seen as we are. So stand in the light and be seen as we are.
Okay, everybody, we got to stand in the light these days and be seen as who we are. Why should we be hiding? Why should they make us feel that we don't belong in this society anymore? Why? I have many questions. All right, we are going to share with you a song that we wrote a couple of weeks ago. It's called "It's Time to Wake Up." I'll just share a little bit of a little story of how this song came about and how we put the music together. So, you know, we were doing the Wake Up Asia event a couple of weeks ago, and we said, okay, we're gonna have a song. We want to have a song, and somehow the inspiration came. So Wan Fen came to my house, and then she contributed some lyrics. She started with the lyrics, and then it was all done in 3 hours. So I'd like to share the lyrics with all of you, and then I'm gonna invite some people who are here today to sing the song live. Okay. So it's called "Time to Wake Up." It says, "There's a rain cloud over me, a veil over my eyes. I can't see beyond today or tomorrow. I don't know why. I can't breathe with ease. Something's not quite right. Do you feel it? Am I dreaming?" Second verse, "There's some ringing in my ears. My eyes are failing. There's a pain in my heart from the sorrow and the spites. Is it wrong to ask or to wonder why? Some friends have changed and others have died." In the chorus, "Open your eyes, open your heart. Listen and find the truth inside you. See the blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always have been. Don't let them divide us. It's time to wake up." And then the third verse, "If you're feeling all alone and no one seems to know, wondering if you need another shot to keep your job, don't be afraid. There's a better way. Find the strength within. You are stronger than you think." Then we sing the chorus again. And then the bridge. "There's a reason we are here. We need to stand up. There are people who are hurt. We need to speak up. There's a war against us. If we do nothing, it'll be the end of us. We're running out of time. We're running out of life." Okay, then the chorus again. "And there's a reason we are here," and so forth. Okay, I know you have heard, seen probably an earlier version, but we have a new version today, done by Alex. He worked through the night until 6 a.m. So we're going to present this for you, and I'm going to invite YE. YE is here. YE, give her a round of applause. Okay, YE, she's here to sing. She'll sing the second verse. She sings in the original second verse. I'm here also to sing a little bit. Do we have another mic for her? Can we pass the mic to her? Okay, and we'll flash the lyrics will be on the screen. Okay, so you'll be able to hear the lyrics. You see the lyrics, and then if you want, you can join us to sing the song. Okay.
This song was written by Iris and Wen Feng, right?
So.
Wang Fen. Give them a round of applause. It's a very nice song, very touching. After listening to it a few times, I hope you can all join us. If you don't know the song, at least join us for the chorus, all right? We are waiting for Iris to come and we'll sing together. I'm so sad that the original people who sang this song, I mean the others couldn't make it.
I'm still here. Hello.
Yep. Hi. Thank you.
There's a rain cloud over me, a veil over my eyes. I can see beyond today or tomorrow. I don't know why I can't breathe with ease. Something's not quite right. Do you feel it? Am I dreaming?
There's some ringing in my ears. My eyes are feeling. There's a pain in my heart from the sorrow and the spice. Is it wrong to ask or to wonder why some friends have changed and others have died? Open your eyes, open your heart, listen and find the truth inside you. See the blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always have been. Don't let us divide us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
If you're feeling alone and no one seems to know, wondering if you need another shot to keep your job, don't be afraid. There's a better way. Find the strength within you. You are stronger than you think.
Open your eyes, open your heart.
Listen and find the truth inside you.
Listen and find the truth.
See the
Blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always have been. Don't let them divide us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
That's the reason we are here. We need to stand up. There are people who are hurt. We need to speak up.
We're running out of time, running out of light. Open your eyes, open your heart, listen and find the truth inside you. Yeah. See the blue skies and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always have been. Don't let them divide us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
There's a reason we are here, we need to stand up. There are people who are hurt, we need to speak up. There's a voice against us. If we do nothing, it will be the end of us. Open your eyes, open your heart, listen and find the truth. See the blue sky and smell the lovely flowers. We are one and always have been. Don't let them divide us.
It's time to wake up. Come on, join us, join us. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Yes, it's time to wake up. Tell your friends, invite them. We must do something, right?
We have some song cards, okay? It's over at the counter. Go and get one. If you wish to make a love offering, you can, okay? So we also have T-shirts and all that. If you think you want to support the work that we are doing, okay? Now we have some more videos for you, and then we are about to, you know, and feel free to hang around. I think the most important thing in this whole thing is that we must find new friends, okay? Find new communities, because a lot of things have changed. Okay, I'm sure all of you know. And the thing that has also kept me going is, while I have lost old friends, I've made new ones. And I think today it's very, very important, and that's why we have all these live events, is so that you all get a chance to connect with each other. All right, so just talk to people, find out how to be in, you know, be a light in these dark days. Of course, you know, the things are all lifted up, but they say there's going to be maybe food shortage and so forth, which definitely we know it may be happening. It's already happened in China. Okay, they're using food as a currency. Those with COVID in Shanghai, the food is being rationed. And we do not know, but maybe they may say if you're not vaccinated, you cannot have access to food and so forth. We don't know. The government may not do this. They may do it. They certainly can do it. Okay, it's whether they want to or not. All right, so I think everybody need to make preparations. We need to be alert, and we definitely need to keep our government in check. All right. Yes, we'll survive. Okay. All right. So we'll just yeah, feel free to hang around. There's song cards, like I say. Go and get one if you like. Just it's our gift to you. All right. Just get a song card. It's a postcard actually. You can use this and write a note to a friend. Okay, somebody that you're thinking, a loved one, and so forth. Okay. We'll play some more videos from our events this year, and you're free to hang around, talk to people, and so forth. And for those who have not known the work that we do, I will just play a video, the final video for today, which is the work that Healing the Divide did for 2021. Some of you may have seen it already, but I'll just play the last video, and then, yeah. Where are you going?
Guarda fuori già mattina. Questo è un giorno che ricorderai. Alzati in fretta e vai. C'è chi crede in te, non ti arrendere. Once in every life there comes a time we walk out all alone and into the light. The moment won't last, but then we remember it again when we close our eyes. Like stars across the sky, che per vincere tu dovrai vincere. We were born to shine, all of us here because we believe. Guarda avanti e non voltarti mai, accarezza con i sogni tuoi, le tue speranze e poi verso il giorno che verrà c'è un traguardo. Like stars across the sky, e per vincere tu dovrai vincere. We were born to shine, all of us here because we believe our light will never fade, our heart forever like stars across the sky. We were born to shine, che per vincere dovrai vincere. All of us here because we
Hello? Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Hello. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll be hanging around. I think some people wanted to talk to me throughout the night, throughout the day, but didn't have chance to. So we'll just play music and so forth. The ply cards, okay? If you like something, you can take it home. The ply cards. All right, there are some placards that's around. Come and talk to us, okay? And everything is, we will, all the food should be finished, I hope. We should not have extra leftover food. Please make sure you have something to eat, all right? And if you wish to come over this side, and if you like, we have quite a lot of placards, all right? So if there's a placard that you like, you want to take home, yeah, just come and tell us, and you can take it home. And we'll play some music, and I like to talk to people and stuff for the next 1 hour, and you can mingle around. We try to have a bit more lights, and so far we just play some soft music at the back, and yeah, and at about 9 o'clock we will finish the event. Okay, thank you so much everybody for coming. You have been great, all right? And we'll see you in Telegram. Please make sure that you have joined something, our mailing list, whatever, okay? Join our Telegram and so forth, so that you are kept posted of whatever that's happening. Thank you so much. Thank you to the team that has been organizing this, the volunteers who have come forward. We thank them very much, and also all the people who have been involved in this event. Thank you so much. And thank you. And if you all wish to support in some ways, just let us know. We are here. We need virtual truckers of Singapore. The Chinese, there's one saying, 有钱出钱, 有力出力. Some people got strength and talent they can give to this, be a awakened warrior in Singapore. Okay, and that's about our piece of controlled freedom for today. Thank you.
I thought sooner or later the lights up above will come down in circles and God made a love. But I don't know what's right for me, I cannot see straight. I've been here too long and I don't wanna wait for it. Fly like a cannonball straight to my soul. Tear me to pieces and make me feel whole. I'm willing to fight for it and carry this weight. But with every step I keep questioning what is true. Fall on me with open arms. Fall on me from where you are. Fall on me with all your light, with all your light, with all your light. Presto una luce ti illuminerà, seguila sempre, guidarti saprà. Tu non arrenderti, attento a non perderti, e il tuo passato avrà senso per te. Vorrei che credessi in te stesso, ma sì, in ogni passo che muoverai qui. È un viaggio infinito, sorriderò se nel tempo che fugge mi porti con te. Fall on me, ascoltami. Fall on me, abbracciami. Fall on me, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai. I close my eyes and I'm seeing you everywhere. I step outside